Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. I'm going to take just a moment and I'm going to try out a new thing. So I don't know, where did it go? So there's a go live feature on Blue Sky. Okay. It only supports Twitch and Streamplace. Never mind. I was going to go live on Blue Sky and have it linked to this stream, but first of all, it's only available on the mobile app, which is kind of like meh. And then it doesn't support YouTube. So, okay, maybe next time. Where were we last week? So we had generated the patterns in our board. So we decided we're going to start with 6 patterns, and we put this as a constant up at the top. And then, hello Renata, nice to see you. Thank you for coming. And so we are going to. We are in the midst of making this function, which was going to put the patterns on the board. So there's, let's see here. Right, so it says we're not using that. Well, we will. Okay, so I'm going to start off by making this geometry because that's not going to change for any of the patterns, at least not right now. Not that. We're going to do generate that function. Okay, so this is actually going to generate a geometry. What does this return? Okay, so I'm just going to say geometry dot geometry. Okay, and it's to do. That's fine. So we know that that's what that type is. Let's go ahead and hi Chris, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. I haven't been able to catch up on your streams, unfortunately, but exciting stuff with Bevy 0.18, and you're updating all the Rust Adventure stuff. So I do follow a little bit. Just not, I haven't been able to get to your streams live lately. I feel bad about that. All right, cat, come on. I have a cat in my lap now. Y'all can't see it. But she's going to get her fur all over my black shirt, her white fur. Okay, so I think that what I want to do for the first pass of this geometry is make another torus. So we can look down here, like for the rings, we made these. The radius is going to be pretty small. We can probably do the same number of segments on there. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think I took a break over the holidays. Maybe I took one week. It's been a crazy time. Okay, so we're gonna do. I think we need to do this. Okay, so yeah, so let's honestly just copy this and we'll modify. It's gonna be easier. Okay, and let's rename that, and we're gonna do geo. The main reason I'm doing this is so that we can reuse it. I'm not sure what the radius needs to be yet, so I'm gonna make it pretty small. Because if you think about our inner ring being, and maybe I should get it up here. Oops. That's the stream that you're on. Okay, so it probably doesn't compile right now. Yeah. If you think of that inner ring being 1.5, these are going to be pretty small. So I think what we'll do is we'll tweak them. as we need to, and I'm going to make the tube pretty small as well. And we can keep the segments the same. Okay, so yeah, so this being 1.5, and we'll fix on we'll fix up the colors later, but that being 1.5, and the tube radius being 0.15. Maybe we need the 0.25 is probably okay. All right, let's give it a shot. Okay, so we've got this. Now we need to do it's gonna be similar to this piece transform. And actually, I think we'll just use that. Right? Let's just reuse that. Okay, so for each of those pieces, we're going to need a transform as well as a material. And let's look at where we did the materials for this. Piece material. Okay, so we'll just reuse that as well. That will work pretty well. Okay, so I was worried we were gonna have to rewrite a lot of this, but we won't. So this takes the ring name, a position, and time as a duration. We'll just pass that a maybe what we can do is instead make a wrapper function. So let's do pattern transform, and this is going to be a ring, rename, right? And the position. And then what we'll do is we'll use that to get everything we need in here. Okay, position is going to be an int. And this is going to return a transform.transform. Okay, so we're going to just call piece transform. And this is going to take some ring name and position. And that also requires a duration. So we're going to ignore the time here. We're just going to say seconds 0, and then error nil, because we don't have a transition on this thing either. Okay, and then so we have the geometry, we have the transform, and we can use the piece geometry. So now we just need to get the patterns for each ring. So what I'd like to do is make this like a yeah, let's just make tuples. And actually, we don't even need to do that. So we could do, if there's a list like map with index type thing. Let's look at the standard library. Because what I want to do is get to map. See, index map. Okay, so we'll use index map. So what I want to do is just do ring.a, ring.b, ring.c, and so forth. D. We're basically doing the to list thing that I had a while back. Yeah, index map, exactly. Thank you. So we're gonna make this, and then we're gonna do list index map. And I want to do something like, I also want to combine index map and flat map, but we can just do filter map at the end. So we can do, let's look at option, because these are optional. There's some or none in there. We could do to result. And then result map, or we could do map and then to result at the end. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do index map. And we need the index here so that we can, so this is a slot, and this is the, so what I want to do here is we want to use this index in the transform, right? Okay, so we're going to do a slot, and that's going to, then we're going to do option.map, and we're getting kind of in callback hell here, so I might break this out into another like nested use type thing. But what we want here is to result at the end. And then I want to outline this first. Filter. Is there a simpler one if it's already a list of results? Or is there a result? Not unwrap, not replace, partition. Partition is almost there. We don't want all. Yeah, and we don't want to pull out the error either. I mean, so okay, so we can do, rather than that, we can do result. Is there, can we do the same with option? Does it have a values function? It does. Okay, so we don't need this option to result. That's nice. We can do values, and so if they're only returns the one that are inside sum, yeah, option.values. That'll save us an extra step. Okay. Let's start from the inner part. Right? We can do this inside here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to make a scene mesh. Okay. And the ID needs to be we need to come up with oh, because a pattern ring name int. Okay, so we've got that already. I thought ahead. So the ID is going to be the ID function, which turns it to a string for us. And it's going to be ring name I. Okay. And what else does this need? So we need the geometry. And I kind of want to get a split going on here so I can see one of the other ones we did. So transform, geometry, material, physics. Okay. Oops. So we need transform, geometry, material, physics is none. Okay, and the transform, I'm just going to do this. Transform is pattern transform. And remember, this takes the ring name and the position. The geometry. We already got the geometry up here. So why don't I rename that? Geometry. Okay. And then the material. We need piece material. And this will be, so this is a piece. So we just pass the piece in there. Is that it? Holy cow. That's not bad at all. Now we could flatten this again. So we could put brackets around that and put more uses in there. Let's, for the sake of argument, let's do that. Let's make it fun. Okay, so we've got, I don't want to delete it. I just want to get the format, please. Okay, so we got the brackets around it. So now we can go use slot I, list index map, and then we can take this and we need, I don't know if you can do pipes, but we could do option.values there. All right, so we have an extra bracket there. Okay. All right, let's see if our thing worked. Okay, so we got rings on the board. That's not right. That's orange, not yellow. All right, so I think the rings are about the right size, maybe a little bit small. Thank you, Renata. Thank you. So you can see, like, this is, yeah, let's bump up the ring size just a bit. Okay, so the radius, let's make it 0.3, and I feel like the outline should be a little bit smaller, so let's make that 0.025. What happened? Refresh. Here, we're gonna restart. Okay, now that's too thin, I suspect. See that one line, but look at how, yeah, it's almost there. So I think that maybe make this 0.03 a little bit meatier. And we're gonna have to pick a different color for the highlight. But we do have a lot of this working. Now, see, I've already messed this up because I wasn't paying attention. And I'm probably nowadays not as good a gamer on this particular game. But I just want to get the mechanics. One thing I thought of as well is I would like the exit animation to also fade. So like make it change the opacity. And I'm not sure yet how to do that. The thing is we have already this transition, and we're using it here, right? We could also pass it to the piece material. And adjust the opacity based on that tween. So I think that would be fun. But I do want to get to the UI here. And I'm locked up. Why am I locked up? Okay, that was weird. Oh, I don't think I was locked up. I think I failed the game. So okay. I feel like there needs to be something different about these as well. Yeah, see, I failed the game at reset. That was good. I forgot we added that last time. Like, they feel like they blend in too much with the board. And it could be that these are too shiny. But definitely there needs to be some color changes. And the highlighter ring being yellow, I don't know, it just looks bad. Looks bad. So I need to do something about that. But since we got the patterns displaying, let's go ahead and make a commit. Okay, so we've added the patterns. Transform. I do love how honestly Gleam made that pretty easy. It and Tiramisu. So thank you, Renata. Oh, it is hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. And what we can do is we can probably tweak the timing of things. And I don't know why it locked up there. But display patterns on the board. Okay. Yeah, we are frozen. It's possible that I made a mistake. Possible I made a mistake, yeah. We will figure it out later. But let's get, because I want to do some things with, you know, we have, I don't have it hooked up, but we have a pause screen, which should bring up the menu, right? So let's make that happen. And we can get to pretty fine things later. I'm not as concerned about that. Okay. The other thing that Renata brought up last time that I want to think about is the effects. So we're doing the core, we're keeping all of the side effects of a thing that you do in the game in the core. And we might be able to take advantage of some interesting stuff by, when we handle a tick here in our game loop, that we also produce effects. So and the thing I'm thinking about are like, we might want to send to the UI something, which I think we're going to do in here anyway in a very like basic state, or in a basic fashion. But I was also thinking of like, well, what if we have audio in the future? Like if something happens, like say they mess up the board, like they fail, right? We should play it like a you messed up sound. Or if you get a match, it's like a simple match, we'll play one sound. And if you get like, hey, you solved the board, then we get another, like give that dopamine that we want, right? We'll add like visual effects later too, but sound might be nice, to enhance the experience. So the first thing though I want to do is look back at, we've got the bridge. We also need to handle the game state. So I think that we only want to advance the game when we're in the in-game state. So let's just add this to the branch state. So I'm going to do and we're going to have to handle sounds are part of the scene. As it being a 3D engine, you can put audio in the scene and camera listens to it. Oh, okay. So but then like when the sound ends, we want to remove it from the scene, correct? So we might need transitions on that. Actually, I don't like this. That's going to make things harder. Okay. I'm going to do the case inside here. Yeah, let me think. It's fine. I mean, the thing is, I would probably put them all at 0, 0, 0, which is like where the camera sits, or just in front of the camera. Like it's 2D, 2D in 3D. What do they call it? 2.5D. Okay, so I'm going to branch on the state. And I think that we want here, this is the in-game stuff, right? Okay, and we need to add the rest of the clauses here. Loading, paused. Well, let's see what we were doing down here in our view. Okay, so we just do the root scene. And we'll probably need to do something with that as well. Okay, loading, paused. Honestly, I think here we just when we're loading, if we get a tick, we shouldn't get a tick because we don't transition, we don't start the tick, right? But we need to handle this. Oh, okay. My example code using one-offs is not good. Okay. We're going to do effect.none and none. So for loading, we have to handle this state because of the, oh, this is model.state. Okay. If we're in the menu, I think the only thing we want to handle here, and I'm going to do this for now. We need to handle keystrokes, and really that's like what we're going to do is if they, you know, do WASD while they're in the menu, we send that to the UI and that changes the UI state, right? Okay, I have a ring buffer of audio nodes and new ones destroy the last ones. That makes sense. So like if you're playing the same effect again, that you would cut the previous sound effect short and start playing the new one immediately. That makes sense to me. I haven't done much in the area of sound design for games, so and here when we're in pause, we're going to do the same. But I think that what we need to do is let's look at this handle input. What did we do there? We did this recently. Okay, so we need to probably do this in here, right? And split this out. Because if we are, let's say we're in this paused state, and the user presses escape, the menu toggle, we want to go back in game, and I think that we can probably do that. So there's gameplay actions and menu actions. Okay, so let's break out the paused state, and we'll handle that here. So it is possible that we don't need to at the end we're going to do board. I think we're just going to do it like this again. And just know that if the user does a menu toggle, then what we want to do is we're doing the board unchanged, but since we're in the pause state, what we want to do is go state.ingame. And then for anything else, we just don't do anything. This is probably not the most efficient bit here. But then over here, I really don't like branching on this multiple times. It feels wrong. Okay, when we're in paused, we're going to do input. Yeah, it's possible that what we can do is just collapse these. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And we'll kind of move that into controls. I'm not really happy with that, but we may need to add effects as output for this. But for right now, we don't need to. Okay, model.board. And this needs model.state. Model.input, context.input. Okay, and then we can go, this will return model, splat the old one, and the board, update the board and the state. Okay. So that's still not working. Oh, and it's because I didn't change this. I didn't save this, right? So here, if we're in game, I want to return paused. And you note that the thing freezes. And when I hit escape again, it doesn't. It doesn't unfreeze. Oh, that's bad. There's another thing going on here that isn't working right. It's just resting. Yeah, totally. The other possibility is that, oh, I know what it is. We're not sending a tick again, right? So we need to send the tick again. Otherwise, it's just going to get stuck in that state, and it's never going to call our main game loop again. Okay, so now you can see they're rotating again. We're all good. One thing that is not happening that I'm not happy about is our overlay is not displaying, and it's possible I just didn't do that. Okay, let's look at the overlay. Okay, if we're in the paused, we display this. It should be transparent. And this should be like right in front of the camera. So why don't I make it, rather than a dark gray, why don't I make it like some obscene color? There aren't that many colors in here. Let's make it light orange and see what happens. Okay, it's not displaying. We're going to have to tweak the, let's put it at 0.25. 1.0. All right. That's not right, but... And apparently it's still resting. What's going on, folks? Okay. So it froze, but I'm not seeing... I should see an overlay here. There should be a rectangle in front of the screen. And it's possible that... Let's try double side. It's possible it's just fate. Ah, did you see it? Okay, the problem was the same problem I had with the backdrop originally, is that it was facing the wrong direction. Um, so okay, so I'm gonna say front side because it's gonna be more efficient to do that, and we're gonna do the same thing that we did in the background, which is to do this. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? Okay, so now we can do. I would love to have a blur effect on there, but let's do dark gray. Put it back to what it was. And the other thing I'm going to do is put this back up closer to the camera. Okay, so now we've got it kind of blurred out, right, when we're paused. Uh, so now we can get to some of the things that I wanted to do. And you know, WASD don't do anything in this paused mode, but they still work when we go back. That actually is pretty good. Maybe it should be even darker. Let's make it more opaque. Let's try charcoal. Dark charcoal. I wonder what's going on here. Why it's not. Yeah, there we go. That's the sort of effect I wanted. So that's dimmed, and this is still pretty dark. Okay, good stuff. Okay, so this might be a good place to make a commit, and then we'll add some UI. Let's look at the diff. So here, okay. Yep. Okay, so we're going to enable the pause overlay is what we did basically here. That's good. Cool beans. We're making really good progress today. Okay, so I need to go back in the UI and I need to look at this bridge deal. And probably the best way to look at this is going to be look at Renata's game. Renata TS. Pondering my orb. There we go. Because it's got this bridge business that I didn't quite understand, but okay, so our message should have one of these variants. I think the UI has a from game, right? We create this bridge. This is the Tiramisu UI bridge. And then we start up Bluster, passing that bridge in, probably a state, I'm guessing. And we pass it into our application. Okay. Let's go do that. All right. Okay, so we need to do, say, we'll just call it from bridge. And we're going to need to look at the game UI bridge message. Okay, game to UI. Where's the UI to game? Okay, so this is the stuff that we're sending to the UI. I'm guessing, Renata, maybe you can tell me, in your game, there's no messages from the UI to the game. Is that correct? I'm not seeing any like event handlers here. So, yeah. And I think that we probably won't have any either. Given that I'm like wanting you to be able to use, is just I'm wanting you to be able to use the keys and like not do any click events. I guess click events could be fine, but yeah. Okay, and I think that that's similar, but we probably need to have let's look back at the main loop here. So you have this from message or from bridge. Okay, and in the init you take the bridge. Okay, so there's send to UI and you pass it the bridge and you give it one of the bridge messages. Okay. Okay, and you're batching up all the effects at the beginning with the initial state. So this will give the UI the information it needs to display the HUD, so to speak. Okay, and then down here in the tick, you're sending information about okay. Right. We could potentially break things up like this, such that we have messages for each of the components of the thing and handle them separately. The thing is, the game is like most of the complexity is in the logic of the puzzle and not so much in the interface. The interface is very simple. We don't have independent enemies. We're not using physics. Okay. Yeah. We did something similar to this. Okay. Well, so I think that what I want to do is we'll do this, right? And I don't know that this is necessary yet. But we're gonna have to do this business. And let's go in here. Okay, bridge. Okay, and we're gonna put some messages in here. but we need to pass that into the model. So the model is going to have the game state and the bridge. And so we will pass in okay. The thing is, I don't know that I'm going to use this yet. Right, so we're just going to return model effect on none for now. We're going to change that up. Because what we want to do is we're managing the game state manually. We're managing it in our update function out here. Let's make a type alias for this. Bridge. You add a bridge message, and then we can just say bridge. And then we can refer to it from out there. That's fine. We're not doing that, and we'll go back and we'll do the loading. What I want to do is say like we'll say game state changed, and this is going to have game state in it, right? And then I think we want to say something like user action. And that's going to be controls.action. So this we will dispatch to the UI if like we're not here yet, but if they say they use the up or down key, and or left or right, and we want to move the selection on the menu, then we want to dispatch that from our tick function or our tick callback into the UI so that it'll like change the thing that's selected. And we'll figure that out as we get the menu going. But yeah. Okay, so now we can do something like and let's say game state changed, new state, and what we'll do is we'll go let's just call it state because that's what the field name is, right? And we'll start sending those messages from the other one, from the other part of the game. Okay, so action, I'm not going to do anything here yet, but we should be able to handle this at the very least. When we flip to paused, right, we should be able to see I already did a lot of this. It should be in the center and it should have big text in white saying paused. So we just need to make sure that the when we update the state. Okay, so we need to make sure that this bridge goes into our init here. So we'll do init bridge. Come on, there we go. Okay, so we'll do bridge is a game UI.bridge, and then we need to put it in our model somewhere. So okay, and then we'll just put it in here. Okay, now on update, what's going on here? What's wrong? Inexhaustive patterns. Yeah, so I don't know that we need this. Let's take a pause on that, because we're not sending messages back to the game. We're just sending them to the UI. So let's see how that's done. Send a UI. And it's just one of the UI messages. Okay. So let's start by sending the send a UI model.bridge. We're going to say game state changed, and we're going to use the updated state, right? So we need to send that basically any time that we might change the state, even if it's not, even if it's the same. So here we're going to make another effect batch and do the same business. And I could have done that a bit better. Okay, let's make sure we didn't break anything before we go on. Okay, still paused. What I would like to do we're just going to do this, and it's going to go to the console, I think. Pattern match failed. No pattern matched the value. Luster dispatch is not ready. Oh, okay. So I need to do that. I should have looked there first. In your luster init function. Okay, so our luster init function needs to have an effect here, which is ui.register luster. What does that take? Tiramisu UI. Register luster. Okay, bridge. Register luster's dispatch. Okay, so this takes a bridge message and produces a luster message. Well, we can just do identity there. Am I right? Okay, and then we need to pass the bridge that we got. Bridge. Because we're already passing in what did we do in pondering my orb? Okay. It just says from bridge. This from bridge is... Oh, okay. So there are messages in here. These are the game to UI messages. Yeah, so maybe... Maybe I need to define... All right, well, let's try this and see if this is going to work. I don't know if it will. Hey, it displays paused. Woo. Okay. I've got some loading issues I'm going to have to debug. Okay, so there's a problem here. Pattern match failed. No pattern match the value. So place pattern. We've got an issue with the pattern generation. Let's see here. That's the place pattern function. So I must be generating one that already exists. Or I'm passing a position that is not valid. Let's get out the debugger. And this is, you know, it's a little bit annoying to debug the JavaScript rather than the Gleam. But we also have the fact that, you know, it translates to pretty simple, understandable JavaScript. Okay, so this is an empty ring, and we're trying to place the piece. Okay, so let's just resume. Okay, we got an empty ring. It's trying to place it at position 4. That should be fine. And actually, I think the thing that's wrong here is I need to put the breakpoint here, because it doesn't always happen. We're gonna have to provoke it. Okay. So we tried to place in an existing spot. So there's some logic in there that's wrong. And look at the stack. New patterns. And we're in the, well, I don't need to see that. Let's look at this anonymous. So we were trying to place it in the middle ring. Oh, that's interesting how use gets exploded. Okay, so we're put middle ring position 3, P5. And here, 0, 1, 2, 3. So D is already occupied. So we have a bug in our generation where I was, and I think maybe what we do. Let's go to place pattern. Or it was new patterns. New patterns. Okay. Generate patterns. Here's the problem. It's going to generate a pattern that's going to have the same ring name and the same position, but a different piece kind, and that's going to go, hey, it's not in the set. So I think I need to change this up, and that's going to be a decent refactor. Poo. Because this is just like a recursive, self-recursive loop where it's going, try to pick a spot and yeah. Okay. So what I'm trying to think of the easiest way to do this. Okay, I'm gonna just change how the algorithm works a little bit. And that's the condition. Like we could use a dictionary, honestly, and maybe that's what we should do. Yeah, let's use a dictionary. And we're just going to reframe this entire thing. So forget this for a second. And I maybe should have thought of this last time. Okay. I don't care for this API, but here we are. Okay, so generate pattern is going to produce a ring name, a position, and a piece kind, right? And then what we want to do is say, we say dictionary has key rather than contains P, and then the thing is, so we're gonna, let's say let key is rename it position. If it has the key, okay, otherwise we're gonna do dictionary insert key piece kind. Okay, so sorry, insert into P. Okay, so if it doesn't exist, then we insert it there. So out here, where we call generate patterns, we're going to say dictionary.new, and we'll do dictionary to list. And then we will of patterns. And then the problem here is we need to bracket that. And then I think that solves the problem. We could do dictionary fold there instead, I guess. Avoid the to list. And then, so fold patterns. Okay, and then that changes the arity there, like so. Okay, that actually wasn't that bad of a transformation to make. Let's see if that. Let's clear all the breakpoints and refresh. Okay, so I want to put that breakpoint there again. Remove that one. And we have not hit that spot. Our game is going. So I think that probably solves the problem. We just, you know, I don't know why I was obsessed with using a set last time. But I should recognize that the set would allow conflicts of those two things, which are the things that matter. So, okay. So we solved that bug. Let me see if I can make a commit on that. First, let's fix any warnings. What's the warning? Oh yeah, we don't use that module anymore. Okay. So we're going to fix that. So we fix pattern generation bug where the slot was already occupied. That explains why we were freezing with not displaying anything. Okay, so I have some bugs to fix with the camera, obviously. Our pause screen works. I want to tweak that a little bit. Let's see. It's interesting that doesn't work directly, the Tailwind language server. Let's try 4XL. I'm gonna want to edit this. Let's say 8XL. I don't even know if that's valid. No, it's not. Let's look at the Tailwind documentation. Docs, please. Okay. Typography. Font size. Okay, 8XL is a thing, but I think there's a bit in there where it's probably running the Tailwind language server or the Tailwind compiler, and I have to give it the opportunity to explode that class because it's not going to generate, it's not going to just dump all of Tailwind. This is a thing I noticed on some React projects I was doing for work, that um, the Tailwind compiler runs constantly while you're doing your thing. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yes. Here, refresh. Get rid of this. Refresh. Okay, paused is very big. Okay, cool. Okay, so we've got now we have the opportunity to go and clear that game state thing is fine, so we don't need to make that separate bridge message, at least not yet. The other thing is I want to go here and rather than going straight into the game, I want to go to the menu. And hey, there's the title of my game in case you hadn't noticed. Okay, so we're gonna tweak with this menu UI. Let's go ahead and make yet another simple commit. Yep, let's make a commit here. Okay, so we're gonna do display UI screens based on game state. Okay, I've been trying to remind myself I need to make commits more frequently. But let's get all of that menu, and I think that what we'll do first is we'll make the menu do something, right? So let's go in here and okay. I don't think that we're sending those user actions to the no, we're just sending the game state changed. So I think that we need to do some bits here where if we're in the menu state, yeah, let's break out that one. Here we're just going to return board state because loading we don't change anything. But here we're going to do something similar to this. But what I want this to do is return some effects. And I think that we could make a message that is like We can make I'm sorry, we can make an effect whose only thing is to dispatch a message to the UI from from the controls. And I don't actually know what this is going to be yet. Okay, so paused. Let's just make all of this return effect none for now. And then we'll figure out what to do next. All right, which one did I miss? Okay, if we're in the menu, type this return value doesn't match that. So where am I not doing it? Oh, I need it here. Right? Okay. So here, so I think I need to do, the thing is I don't want the bridge here. I don't want to pass the bridge into the controls. That feels wrong. So what I want is actually a, like something that in the main game loop takes the output of the control effects and queues them up, right? Okay, so what I could do is say maybe the control effect is action. And I can use effect map. Uh-huh. So this is going to return. The other thing is I could just say, have it return a list of actions rather than effects. And then, okay. That's probably better. And I think I'm just gonna stub this out for now. And we'll figure this out. So I need to redo this. Right? These are not effects. These are actions we want to propagate to the UI. Okay. Yeah, so when we're in the game, we're handling the game controls. And the only thing that would matter is the, in here, let's rename that. Forward. One more time. Forward actions. Okay. And here, yeah, we don't, then that's fine. And let's rename this to forward actions, because we're going to want to push these actions onto the list if they're relevant. So if we're in the menu, then we'll have to go back to the game loop and handle these. I didn't want to create a like mutual dependency between the game loop module and like the main entry point module and the controls module, because that just like, that's not good. Okay, so I think if we're in this menu state, what actions make sense here? Up, down, left, right should move things in the menu. We don't have any menu items, right? But we're going to. So up, down, left, right should do something in the menu. So I think that means menu toggle is not an action that we forward. That should be we do board and we go state to in-game. So like that's going to be our start a new game. I don't think that that's exactly true, because escape, like we're going to want to add one which is like, you know, hit the enter key or something, or hit the space bar. But here for menu toggle, we want to change the state to in-game. And then for up, down, left, right, we want to keep the same state, but do forward actions. Add the action to the list. There's probably only ever going to be one. And I want to, here, let's do it like this. We're going to put it here, and then we're just going to make all of these. Yep. and then we get rid of this. Okay. Okay, so we're not using luster effect here. Oops. Let's get rid of it. And then the problem is we've got over here, we've got problems where we do the controls. So we're going to first of all just ignore those. But then what we should do is I want to sandwich in the state, like the forwarded actions between the state change and the tick. Maybe it's not useful to think about these as being in a particular order, but I'm pretty certain from an implementation point of view, they're in the order that they're passed. Execute in order during the same frame. Yeah, so well, what I can do is do this, right? No, hold on. So we're gonna do and then we want to do right. It doesn't like that. We can't curry like that. So we're going to do it the dumb way. Okay, and then we will, let's do a pipeline. Let's just get that out of the way. and I was trying to do it in one pass, but like, eh. And then we're gonna do UI.send to UI. Okay. The thing is, we're gonna have to do this again down below, so I'm wondering if I should wrap it up in something. Okay, so this is basically the pattern. You know, dispatching the tick just does request animation frame, so it doesn't matter when that's called. But we want to send the new state and any effects that need to be forwarded. Okay, so we're gonna do the same down below. I don't know that it needs to be wrapped up in a function. I just kind of, it's just my habit to abhor too much repetition, and I need to get over that. Okay, so what we can do then is, as a little test that this actually works, here in our update function for our UI, we can just echo what the action was that was taken, right? And then we will, you know, not do anything. Okay, so let's save all that. There's no warnings. Okay, and now I notice I hit escape and it started a new game. I don't actually want that to be the key that starts the new game, but we can. And I'm going to lose this one, obviously. But we see we get the pause screen. We refresh. It goes from loading into the menu. We'd escape. We start a new game. We pause things. Yeah. So that's pretty good. And we're a little bit before the end of my normal time, but I feel like this is a good place to stop. But before we do, I'll make a commit, of course. But I want to look at what we might do next time. So the in-game, we don't display anything. Obviously when we're loading, it's not displaying anything either because the loading is too fast local. That's okay. So next time, I'm going to put to-dos here, add menu entries, and maybe this will just be, because we don't have control editor yet, maybe this will be just like press escape or enter. Let's see what we put in here. Escape or start, right? So we may want to make a new action here for the bindings. You're hitting the start button on a gamepad. But we'll add a menu entry that says press, you know, whatever it is, to display or to start a new game. For the in-game, we'll want to add some HUD, like here's your score. You know, maybe a little bit of some effect on on like a, a Lucy icon spinning, or I don't know. We'll figure that out. And then that'll be pretty good, right? So let me see if that. Okay, so obviously when we're in paused, we're not. Okay, so we're getting move up, move down, move right, move left when I press WASD. I hit escape and it changes the state and doesn't forward anything. So I think that we've got that interaction mostly correct. I can remove that echo. All right. Okay, so this is a good place to stop. Let's make a quick commit. Okay. That's fine. Yep. Okay, forward some control actions to the UI. Cool. All right. Hopefully see you next week. Thanks for coming and give me feedback in the chat. And have a good weekend.